I do want to say to Doni and many of you in this room that over a very long career in this city, all of you have helped me and my colleagues tell the truth and to try to tell.
I may not look like you and you me, but
my head up.
I'm South Carolina, so I just
What does this event mean to you, Miss Peggy Morris?
Oh, my heart.
Happy 20th anniversary.
My heart is about loving up on my sisters. Do you know what it feels like to have your sisters in the room? John.
and dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. I am beautiful, I am blessed, but not just what you see in the flesh. I'm free from people, free from myself. There's a
the doctor lived next door to the janitor, to the reverend, and the lawyer. We were together. Now we get so high and mighty that you create stress for your society because you don't like poor black folks either. That's a health problem. Get yourself together so I can stop being taking care of geriatric people and get back to pediatrics. I thank you, Doni, for all you've done. Let's keep doing it all the more.
letting His glory shine through. Dare to be you, dare to be me, dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. And I dare you, I dare you, I dare you to be you.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover. Entered the winner for the long haul, baby. You know, my mama would say, this is some good sleeping weather. This is some good sleeping weather. Yes, it is. Oh, my goodness. How you doing out there? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We just got the word from yesterday's show, or from the guests on yesterday's show, that the restaurants who were struggling, the restaurants that were struggling with parking that appeared on this show, have a solution put in place. And that's the point of journalism. A lot of these mainstream media outlets, you know, they're always talking about how many awards they won. You get awards in the realm of journalism, in the field of journalism, when the news that you report makes a difference, a tangible difference, one that you can measure, one that you can see, progress that you can identify. And quite often, black news outlets are ignored, but we expect that in America. We're not surprised. But according to Tony Randall of Next Phase, issue being worked out with parking. Thanks for all of your support. So that's a good thing. It brought to mind another issue we were a part of bringing attention to earlier this year, and that was Hose Heights. For those that don't know, Hose Heights is a black community founded by a black man, Grandison Ho. Thank goodness for coffee. It is located directly next to Roland Park. And if you are a regular watcher of the show, then you know we've talked about Roland Park and the history of that community on more than one occasion. Roland Park is Baltimore's first suburban garden community, one of the first in America. And as it was built, the rich white residents of Roland Park made it known to the mayor at the time. His name was J. Barry Mahul, that they didn't want black people being able to move into their community because they were selfish. And they didn't want black people living next door to them because obviously they had low self-esteem and figured that they couldn't stand living next to people who looked better than them. I'm just saying, because when you're racist, you have an ugly aura. You have your countenance. That's what the preachers talk about. Your countenance is ugly, or as we say, ugly. And so they got J. Barry Mahul to introduce this ordinance, which said that black people couldn't move into white neighborhoods and white people couldn't move into black neighborhoods. And I want you to know that ordinance, although it was illegal, was then replicated around the country. And that is why they call Baltimore the home of segregation. And that is why I wrote the editorial this morning about the double standard. And you can go to bemorenews.com. The double standard by the apologizing, hypocritical Baltimore Sun. They want to talk about Sheila Dixon and some gift cards. Tell them go talk about Donald Trump and why this clown is even in position to possibly be the next president. Talking about petty. Talking about the Baltimore Sun sneaking into Congressman Perrin J. Mitchell's hospice room with a black reporter, Ivan Penn. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how low this rag of a newspaper will stoop. And then they're going to have the audacity to talk to somebody else. You know, it's like pointing the finger and you dirty. You filthy dirty. 3 fingers coming back at you, but you pointing the finger at somebody. Go sit down. Have several seats, Baltimore Sun. Anyway, our guest today is one and only Cynthia Brooks, and she's obviously having some trouble with the computer system. Oh, speak of the angel, and she shall appear. There's the angel. How are you?
Good morning, Donnie. I'm fine. Doing.
Now you going in and out. Yeah. Are you driving? I thought you were sedentary.
I'm sorry. Good morning. Thank you for having me, Donnie.
Thank you for being here.
Sorry. Something.
You're doing good. I was clapping.
Oh, okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's nice to see you.
It's so good to see you. Cynthia Brooks of the Bea Gaddy Family Center on Chester Street.
Yes.
Thank
Still
you for
blessed
embracing.
to be here. Still good. Yes. Always.
Thank you for embracing this. Oh. You go ahead.
No, I was saying thank you for having me and always being in my corner.
We love you. We love you. We loved your mom.
And I love you. I love you more.
I know you do. There's not been a Thanksgiving since we've met that I haven't been interested in how your day is coming along. So how is the Bea Gaddy Center doing?
It's strong. It's going strong. We're still helping. And right now, that's with the ER, and one of these our biggest months, September, October, November, and December. We're moving into the holidays. Right now, we're signing children up from age newborn to age 10, just with Christmas. And people are coming out. I mean, these folks are out here needing help. And they trust us to help them. That's the best part.
A lot of people don't know that you don't just do this work for Thanksgiving. She actually does this work all year long. And in case you're just tuning in, we're talking with Cynthia Brooks of the Bea Gaddy Center over the 400 block of North Chester Street. Every Thanksgiving, they have this humongous, ginormous dinner. And I mean, when I tell you the line looks like a South African election, it is a long line. And it's not just black people in those lines. Let me just tell you, last time I was there, it was more white people, more Latino people than black people. But Baltimore's changing. You know, a lot of times
My apologies.
You don't have to explain. Listen, a lot of times we think it's just black people who need help in this city. One of the last ones I came to, one of your dinners, I mean, I saw a lot of white people, a lot of Latino people.
Yes. We are starting to see a lot of Latino new neighbors that are here. However they got here, they're here and they need help. And there's no color barriers. So hunger is not discriminatory. It's not just black people that are hungry and in need of help. So that's a stereotype that we've all seen busted. You know, and it doesn't matter who you are. If you come seeking help, we're going to try our best to help you.
And you do this all year long?
All year long, Donnie. All year. I have a group of dedicated volunteers, and we hang in there.
What do you need now?
We are putting it together. We need everyone to start looking through their pantries and finding food donations for us so that we can help share those donations with our neighbors. But we want to make sure that it's food that we can give to. We cannot give out expired food. So please be conscious of that. Wherever you donate to a food drive, we need monetary donations. We need drivers. We need people. We need support always moving into these months.
Who are some of the volunteer organizations you expect to see this year? Will the Corvette Club be coming back?
Yes, Baltimore County Corvette Club. We're waiting now. It's going to be the event. It will be the first Saturday, and we're waiting to lock down the location because we've outgrown Chester Street. We've outgrown Eagle Park. So now they're about to surprise. Excuse me. It will be a party in the streets.
So who else besides the Corvette Club?
It will be something. We will have we have so many organizations. We have the correctional officers from the state of Maryland. We have Baltimore State Police. We have the SWAT unit. We have individuals. That is our biggest population of individuals that just want to come out to help. We have Councilman Robert Stokes' office. We have Senator Corey McCray. We have so many politicians and the governor himself. That is, Donnie, I thank you. I thank you a million times.
What you thanking me for?
I thank you a million times. Because you opened that door for the governor. Before he announced his campaign, you brought him to me, and he came out and helped, and we talked.
You can't be governor of the state of Maryland.
And I'm so proud.
You can't be governor of the state of Maryland and not come through the Bea Gaddy Center.
And you made sure of that. So let's see if we can get about the night before Thanksgiving again.
Matter of fact, he walked away with some. Matter of fact, he walked away with some Dunbar Poet gear, if I'm not mistaken. He got a Dunbar
jacket. Yes, he did. He's an official poet.
Yeah, he got one before me. I wasn't all that thrilled about that. I just want y'all to know that. Come on, East Side. Y'all had to tighten up on your backstroke. Yeah, I'm about to get this jacket.
Yeah. Yes, he did. But you facilitated all of that. That's what people don't understand about you. How you're out here in this community and you reach out to everybody. You're like the helicopter for all of us out here that need the support, and you make sure we get the support. And without you, Donnie, a lot of organizations in and around Baltimore City would just be fledgling organizations. But you make it your business to make us shine.
Tell me about your mom. How was it growing up with your mom? Who was Bea Gaddy?
It was, my mother was a strong woman, and watching her, with young eyes and not having a sense of awareness, watching her do the things that she did and couldn't understand why is she helping everybody and not just staying with us, because she spread herself thin. When she was really sick, we were about to go to a doctor's appointment, and this lady came, and she had something that was wrong with her Social Security. And my mother missed her appointment to have me to take this lady to Social Security. And I was angry. My mother was sick. This was in September 2001, and she died in October. So at this point, she was still giving of herself. She was the most selfless person I've ever seen.
She said one more.
September the 13th.
She said one more.
Yeah, on September. One more. Yeah, she did.
How many of us would do that today, Cynthia Brooks? How many of us, that's like Harriet Tubman. She had her freedom, but she went back to help somebody. How many of us will go back and help somebody? We're so selfish today. We would not help Jesus.
And that's so factual. That's pure facts. We wouldn't, but she did, and it's been 22 years since she's been gone, and every day a part of her stays is still here because I'm still working so hard to keep her here with me. Alive. I keep her name alive. My family, we work hard at it.
Cynthia, how do we get the children to carry the ball when we
don't carry on legacies?
How do we get the children to carry the ball when we gone?
I see my grandchildren now asking, how can they help more? And that makes me feel so good. It makes me feel so good. And I think that it's hard to speak about all of Baltimore. It's extremely hard.
Hell, it's hard to talk about our own family.
It is. It's very much so. Very, very much so. We're working. I have my moment. Okay, so yes, Donnie. How do we have our children carry on our legacies and see the importance? I guess that's reflective of every child, individual. I don't think you can force it on anybody. I think it has to be in their heart. God has to give them the spirit to do so.
What was the Bea Gaddy song? What's the song she sang? What's the Bea Gaddy song?
She had so many. Her favorite was from this young lady, Arlene Williams, that sang at her funeral, Precious Lord. Precious Lord. She's an ordained minister. I thank you, Doni, for letting me visit with my mother a moment now. She's an ordained minister, and she believed in God so deeply, so deeply. When they gave her 6 months to live, and I'm crying, and she telling me, "Hush, child. God knows what He's doing." She had me to focus not on myself, but to trust in God enough to believe it's going to be okay.
Precious Lord, take my hand. How the words go? Because I'll mess a song up in a minute.
Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on and let me stand. And those words are so true for the Bea Gaddy Family Center. Let me stand, and her work stands.
I love to see the volunteers, especially when the brothers show up. Oh, when the brothers show up, I see them carrying boxes. It's almost like they know what you're going to ask them. They come to do the heavy lifting, and then they ease on around the corner on you. And when them boxes come, it be a lot of boxes.
Yeah, that's the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge in Maryland. That's them. Under the Grandmaster Noel Osborne. And they come through. And when they get there, Doni, I'm like you. I'm in awe. Because they pour out. They're out there on a mission.
So we gotta do more to get the Instagram millennial Generation Z and Generation X. For them, we got to get them to understand how special this thing is. We need to make a special outreach effort to our young people because a lot of them are parents now. Parents and grandparents.
And we need we need to let the parents and their and the grandparents know that this is a time to get service learning hours. Our kids have to have this to be able to graduate. These are the months we're handing out service learning hours. Come out and get it. Get these hours. We're working, and we'd love to see your children.
Cynthia, what's wrong with these schools? Most of these schools cannot teach our children how to count.
And you're right about that. As you see, there's no military recruiting offices in the city of Baltimore, and I was told that was because our kids can't pass the test to go into the military.
Oh, what happened? They got more money than ever before. What they doing with the money?
I don't understand how these same schools that taught me how to count can't teach these kids.
Hello.
What is with the educational system that they can't see what they're doing isn't working? Why can't they stop and just change direction and give our children the education they so desperately?
I don't understand it.
Make sense, Doni.
It don't make sense. And I tell you what, you would not be making more than 100,000 in my city. These schools CEO make 300,000 for what? For what? An inferior product. That lady would be fired so fast. She'd be fired faster than a Baltimore speed camera. Blip, blip. Next. If you can't do the job, get the stepping. I'm tired of excuses. I'm tired of excuses. And we don't say nothing. We don't say nothing.
I think we say something, they just don't listen. No one
ain't
listens.
saying nothing. You know, we are real good at going to the Preakness. If we get them same Negroes that go to the Preakness to maybe say something about these schools, maybe we get something done. Because we just want to go to a party. We want to go to Kamala and have a 50th celebration of hip hop. We don't want to talk about education. We're not serious.
We want to go to you saying we just want to get dressed up and be cute and be seen.
We want to look like Run DMC. We want to take pictures on the beach in South America. Meanwhile, our kids dumber than a bag of rocks. And don't forget special education. I think that's like a pre-drug addict type thing because he put these kids on these drugs like our children can't learn.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, we've got to do better. And at what point do we finally do better?
All right, I'm getting ready to get deep on you. This country is sending $100 billion to the Ukraine. Now, you're a soldier. You're a veteran. Why are we sending $100 billion to the Ukraine when we got children right
Because
here?
Doni, either fight the war over there or you fight it here. Putin is not playing. He's showing you. He's coming for you. This man is arrogant and he thinks everything.
Maybe he'll do a better job with education. Because right now we failing these kids. We can't even teach them how to count.
I'm in support of sending it. Fight that over there. You keep all that over there. We're not ready to do any
how much money do they need? And I thought charity starts at home, Cynthia.
Until it is done, Doni. Unfortunately, we got to stop this in its tracks.
Somebody's stealing that money, Cynthia. Cynthia, when you got white people and a whole bunch of billions of dollars, somebody's stealing. I done seen it too many times. You done seen it. You over there, you think you fighting Vietnam, and what you really fighting is a drug war. You think you fighting Afghanistan, and you really fighting the heroin drug dealers. You down in Grenada, and you think you fighting for democracy, and you fighting for the cocaine cartel. I don't trust these people, Cynthia, because they lie and they steal and they use drugs.
And I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
And Biden and Trump starting to look a lot alike, baby. Biden and Trump starting to look a lot alike. All right. So what can people do to help? What can people do to help the Bea Gaddy Center? You want them to bring donations? I had to ask you about
donations.
You notice I asked you about the mayor's race. I'm just going to leave you alone about that.
Yeah, I got to pretty much stay away from politics as a nonprofit. I can speak as a individual, but that this sign says Bea Gaddy Family Center, so I got to speak on behalf of Bea Gaddy Family Center. And politics is something you and I talk about later. But people can bring us donations. You can go on our webpage and make a monetary donation.
What's the webpage?
You see what we're doing. Come out and volunteer. Come out, hook arms with us. And I need support. I need some IT support. I need a publicist. I need folks with all of this creativity that's sitting out here in Baltimore City. Please ring my phone. Please. Let's blow this up. This is going to be the 42nd Thanksgiving dinner. Let's make this shine. I need some new friends. I'm excited about meeting new people that will be coming out into my life this holiday season.
So you want me to put your cell phone number out there?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Why
Yes,
do you
please.
do this? Why don't you just go on a damn island and retire somewhere? Why you keep on doing this?
It's 41056.
I'm glad you told me because I'm about to put your cell phone number out there. What's the number?
Because I watched my mother help take care of her neighbors. 410-563-2749. That's what I figured. I'm like, oh, let me get this.
Yeah, Donnie Glover have your name, your phone number all over the web.
410-563-2749. But I watched my mother take care of her neighbors, and the work isn't done.
Precious Lord, take my hand.
As long as they say Dottie gave it to me, it's okay.
Tell me a Bea Gaddy story. Tell me about that time you said she gave up her bed. Did she freeze up on me? Don't you freeze up on me. Cynthia? All right, we're going to let that go. Help the Bea Gaddy Center, 425 North Chester Street, Baltimore, Maryland, begaddy.org, 410-563-2749. A long, strong legacy of serving the community straight out of East Baltimore, out of downtown. Bea Gaddy would walk up into the hole and she said, Daryl, Michael, Johnny, come on out here. I got something for you to eat. Got some hot coffee for you. Got a blanket for you. Oh, there she go. Oh, she gone. And that's how she would serve the people. She knew them by name. She knew what they needed, and she had no problem serving. And as Cynthia said, in her last 30 days, she was busy taking people to Social Security to help them get their benefits and missed her own doctor's appointment. That's service. I watched our main man, we call him Coach Prime, Neon Dion. He talked about service in this one particular clip. What are we complaining about? God gave us breath. God gave us life. God gave us the ability to move and touch and feel and walk, bend. What are we complaining about? We're complaining about this. We're complaining about that. There are people who can't do half of the things that we can do, and they're out there making a difference. Let me tell you something. I don't share this story too often, but I need to share it today. Because it's not me. It's but by the grace of God. You see these awards? We've been doing these awards since 2011. These plaques right here, the Joe Mans Awards. Why do we do these awards? I'm going to tell you where I got the idea from. There's a blind man. His name is Lehman Best. And Lehman would come on the show. Remember, I was out at Radio 1 for 21 years. And we started this show because it was time to go. And plus, the money that Radio 1 started asking of me, well, I'm an entrepreneur, not a sharecropper. If I do anything with my money, it's going to be building up my business. Amen? Amen. So anyway, Lehman will come on the show at least once a month. And he would bring guests. He did talent shows. Lehman, blind man, couldn't see. And at least couldn't see with the physical eye. And he would bring these different people on, especially little Ashley. She was probably my favorite. She was like the female Michael Jackson of the clan over the years. And actually, we watched little Ashley grow up. I mean, started when she was about 11, at least a good 7 years until she became a grown young woman. But anyway, he invited me to his award ceremony. I'm like, the blind man got an award ceremony? It was right up there on Emerson Avenue off Wildwood Parkway at the Catholic Church up there. So you go up Emerson Avenue, make that right on the Wildwood, and you go back like 2-3 blocks and it's over on the left. Most people up in the village know where it's at. And I go into this church and he's got 3 banquet tables. I've told the story recently. 3 banquet tables loaded with these trophies. like 3-foot trophies. They haven't played in James Motion baseball. I'm just jealous off the break because they gave us these little trophies about this big. He was giving out 3-foot trophies. I'm like, oh my goodness. It was just amazing. And that had to be before 2011. It had to be around 2010. I got the trophy right in there. But I said to myself, if Lehman Best can do this, then I can do something too. And so I guess I struck up a silent competition with the blind man. But more than that, going back to what Coach Dion said, we all can do something. We all can make a difference. As a matter of fact, Coach Dion's message was, we're going around like somebody owes us something. That's what Coach Prime said. Many of us, we have an attitude of entitlement, of privilege. Somebody owes us something. A lot of our children, your children, my children, they growing up together, same mindset. Somebody owes them something. I didn't have this, as if we failed as parents. Let me tell you something. If your mother didn't throw you in a dumpster, shut up and be grateful. I heard somebody say that again. If your mother didn't throw you in a dumpster, shut up and be grateful. We don't know how good we've got it. We don't know how good we've got it until the well runs dry. But Coach Prime said a lot of us have an attitude like somebody owes us something. He said, in actuality, we owe the universe. We owe the universe. The universe gives us breath, we suck it up. The universe gives us water, we drink it up. The universe gives us food, we eat it up. What do we give back? Now, my daddy put it a little different, and happy heavenly birthday to my dad in heaven. He would say it like this, and we're going to wind this show down. With a closed hand, nothing gets in and nothing gets out. Think about that. You want a blessing. You want a blessing, but you're busy holding on to what you think in your noggin is important. It might be money, it might be things, might be a house, might be a car, might be materialist, whatever it is. You holding on to it because you don't want nobody to get it. You just holding on to it. Holding on. A lot of us holding on to the daggone cell phone. Can't let it go. Holding on to it. Can't put this down at dinner. You going to dinner with your significant other and both of you down in your phone. Well, what was the point in going to dinner, dum-dum? Closed hand. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out. With an open hand, there are endless possibilities. We're busy holding on to nothing when we're supposed to be giving. Because as you give, it comes back around. That's how the universe works. You're supposed to give. You're supposed to be of service, just like Bea Gaddy. Now, I'm not saying miss your doctor's appointment to take somebody else to go to Social Security, but I am saying we need to understand that level of service is what God charges his children to do. You might not consider yourself a child of God. That's fine. But for those of us who do, we know that we have a special obligation. Harriet Tubman, a child of God. She had her freedom. Harriet Tubman had her freedom. Harriet Tubman had her freedom and still went back and freed. She freed 70-some slaves, enslaved Africans, forgive me, according to the typical sources. And that's when me and Facebook had a fight, because I showed them where she freed over 700 people down in South Carolina at the Combahee River with the help of the Union Army. So when the statement comes up, I freed 1,000 slaves, I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. Now, I don't know if she said it or didn't say it, but I'm not going to let some clowns who don't know their own damn history tell me about mine. That's why it is important that we know our history. That's why it's important that we read our own books, because we're going to share the history with our people that the other people will not, cannot, and should not. It's not their job to tell you that Florida, up until 1831, was a bastion of freedom. So if we understood the history of Florida, we understand why these dirty, rotten conservatives down in Florida don't want to see black people. It's not because it's theirs. It's because it's ours. It's always been ours. And somebody's trying to rob us of our birthright. But we can never understand that if we don't know the history. See, if you let your enemy tell you your history, what else do you expect but to be a fool? Black people in Florida for hundreds, thousands of years before the European ever arrived. The African was in Europe before the European that we know today ever arrived. But you'll never know that if you don't know your history. And if you learn your history by somebody who has historically been oppressive to you, then what do you expect? You studying and holding dear to your heart some twisted version by an idiot. And when somebody like me comes along, you're like, oh, he crazy. Okay. Better learn your damn history. And what else are you going to school for? What else do you have a smartphone for? Got a smartphone and dumb. Where they do that at? Anyway, we're helping the Bea Gaddy Center today. They can use blankets, clothes for little ones, Pampers. They feed people. Take them canned foods, non-perishable items. And if your organization wants to get involved, there's the phone number. We need to be blowing it out. You got a Black Wall Street Towson Thursday. That's tomorrow. We're going to be up in Moe's in Towson. I want me some good seafood. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I do. And I'm going to get down with the get down. Hopefully, you will join us at 6 p.m. But right now, Bea Gaddy Center, 425 North Chester Street. Or just go over there and volunteer. Take your children. Take your grandchildren. Get involved. Help somebody. Closed hand, nothing gets in, nothing gets out. With an open hand, there are endless possibilities. The moral to the story is to help somebody. My name's Doni Glover. Have a beautiful day. Good morning, world.